This is United Network News with Sunny Galt, Calen, Kimberly Gogan, and our field messengers from around the world. Here's today's real news. It's Friday, June 27th, 2025, and here are today's stories. Frustration grows in the UK as recent disability benefit cuts leave many wondering how they'll cover daily needs. In southeastern Nigeria, meet the local hero bringing clean, safe water to his community. UNN Field Messenger Chikwudi Kingsley has this inspiring story. Then join Janie at Manchester's Heaton Park to celebrate World Bee Day. She's exploring local hives and sharing why these tiny pollinators are so vital for life on Earth. Need a mental boost? We'll show you how picking up a trowel and spending time in the garden can do wonders for your brain and well-being. It's easier than you think. Next, take a tour of Sweden's stunning Öland Island with Susan. Discover its rare limestone landscape and what makes this Baltic gem so special. And finally, a troubling new report from the Balkans reveals how surveillance tech is tightening control and stifling free speech. From facial recognition to online harassment, what does this mean for human rights? Recent disability benefit cuts in the United Kingdom have caused frustration and concern for those who depend on them. For many, these benefits are a lifeline, covering basic necessities. And the sudden changes and stricter rules have left many uncertain about their futures. Critics say the cuts unfairly target vulnerable groups, while the government claims it's about balancing budgets and improving support. It's a tough situation with real consequences for people who are already facing significant challenges. To better understand the impact, it's worth looking at the types of financial support available for people with disabilities or health conditions in the UK. These include Personal Independence Payment, or PIP, Disability Living Allowance, DLA, Attendance Allowance, and Employment and Support Allowance, ESA. According to an analysis by The Independent, claims through DLA and PIP jumped 30% between 2019 and 2024, reaching nearly 5 million people. Similarly, claims for universal credit with a health element and ESA increased by 55%, hitting 3.9 million, though there's some overlap between these numbers. Despite this growing need, the government is proposing 5 billion euros, which is about $6.8 billion, in disability benefit cuts by 2029-2030. This would be the largest cut on record, making it even harder for people to access essential support.
When the services that we need, the vital services, are not receiving the funding that they need, of course it's going to have an impact on people's mental health. I don't want to wear resilience as a badge of honour, but it's really hard being a disabled person in the UK. It's such a hostile place to be. The government are calling us benefit cheats and work shy, saying we don't pay tax, whatever. I've worked since I was 16. That was after being rejected from over 100 job applications. I can work. I want to work. I want to contribute to society, as do many other disabled people.
So what if someone says to you, but Shani, that's the whole point. You are working despite your disability, and yet there are so many, particularly young people, who say they're too anxious or depressed to get a job.
But there's at least 16 million disabled people in this country. At the moment, only 3.5 million are claiming PIP. And a lot of people then throw in, there's loads of fraud. There isn't. It's 0.2%.
One major change is the plan to scrap the work capability assessment by 2028. Instead, a single PIP assessment will be used to determine financial support, focusing on how a disability impacts daily life rather than work capacity. However, PIP eligibility will become stricter, with more emphasis on those with higher needs, stricter daily living criteria, and face-to-face assessments. While universal credit will see a €15 weekly increase in its standard allowance starting in 2026, incapacity benefits for new claimants will be reduced. To offset these changes, the government has announced an extra €1 billion a year for job support and training programs to help more people return to work. Here's how the benefit cuts will impact young people.
How are young people being hit by benefits cuts? In the UK, there's around 1 million young people not in work, education or training, but the government wants them to be. So under 22s are being targeted specifically with policies to stop them leaving school and claiming benefits. 18 to 21-year-olds with long-term illnesses or disabilities will no longer be able to claim a health top-up on universal credit known as incapacity benefit. The government is also considering raising the age at which people can claim personal independence payments from 16 to 18 years old. Savings from these policies will be spent on schemes to get young people working or learning, ministers say. Scores of Labour MPs are pressuring the government to water down the welfare reforms. But that is unlikely and some changes are expected by 2027.
But are these changes really solving the problem? Disability Rights UK doesn't think so. They estimate 3.8 million disabled people will lose out financially, with some losing as much as €10,000, which is around $13,600, a staggering 60% of their income. To make matters worse, more than 350,000 people are expected to be pushed into poverty, deepening an already challenging situation. Cuts to PIP will make it harder for disabled people to stay employed, as many use it to cover essential costs like transportation and mobility aids. Similar cuts in the past forced many out of their jobs. While the government's €1 billion employment support package sounds promising, experts argue it won't come close to filling the gap. A small fraction of disabled people may benefit, but millions will lose critical support, leaving them to bear the brunt of the changes.
I don't know how I will survive. I absolutely have no idea because I don't have any luxuries as it is. It's just incredibly economically illiterate to try and balance the books on the back of society's most poorest and disadvantaged people. I tried to find other work and failed. There are many employers that if you declare that you are a disabled person, and let's face it, I can hardly hide mine, they will just throw your application straight in the bin.
It makes up half the income that I get every month. If that was to disappear, it would be very, very difficult to maintain my living standards. I'd have to redo my entire budget and redo everything, really. But ultimately, it's like, well, it's not our fault. We have to pay for things just like everyone else. And it's just that bit harder. Because I've tried to apply for multiple jobs in the past, and just because of my disability, although the employers won't openly say it, they will target the disability and be like, well, we don't want them. We can hire someone else.
According to the Benefits and Work website, the government is aiming to push the bill through the Commons by July 22nd, before the summer break. They're hoping to avoid delays in the House of Lords, and any holdups could push the decision into the fall, when the Budget Office reevaluates how many disabled claimants could potentially return to work. For now, the future remains uncertain for the millions of people whose lives will be directly affected by these cuts.
A local community member in southeast Nigeria launched a project to make clean water accessible. UNN Field Messenger Chukwudi Kingsley brings us this story.
Hi viewers, I am UNN Field Messenger Chukwudi Kingsley, reporting from Igbo land, the southeast of Nigeria. What you are watching is a village in a community out of many Igbo communities that used to face water challenges. But these people's own burden has been lifted by one of their big-hearted sons, who saw it as an error to have come from a place where people have to go through a lot of hard times to get drinking water. And he single-handedly put up this project since the year 2021. He made sure that the water taps are being circulated to all nooks and crannies of this village to make it easy for his people to access drinking water, irrespective of where they live in this village, and for people from other villages within the community. There are 2 reservoir tanks for abundance of water, and on top of these tanks, he installed solar panels for pumping of water, because you hardly see government-powered electricity here in the village. And the people are so excited for what he has done for them, and they are so grateful. Thank you for watching till I come your way next time. I remain Chukwudi Kingsley for UNN. Bye.
UNN Field Messenger Janie celebrates World Bee Day with a visit to the local hives at Heaton Park in Manchester. She explores the history of the place and highlights why bees are so important for our planet.
Hello, my name is Janie, UNN Field Messenger reporting from Manchester, UK. Today is the 20th of May 2025. And little acorns and little explorers are celebrating World Bee Day. Our adventures begin with an invitation to play and explore all things bees. This included books, stories, songs, dressing up and making buzz sounds. We made our way on the yellow bee bus to the beekeepers at Heaton Park, Manchester, to see the honeybees and their hives. At Little Acorns, we grow plants that attract the bees. We also use our bee network, which is a yellow bus with bees on the side. As we walked through the park, we followed the signs to the beekeeper house. Here we saw a variety of hives and honeybees. Manchester is famous for its bees, and bee signs are dotted all over Greater Manchester. The symbol was adopted in 1842 by the council at the time. The Manchester bee is known as the worker bee. There are beekeeping taster sessions to try if you are interested in becoming a beekeeper. Here you can see the active honeybees back and forward in their hives. Bees are vital pollinators. They help plants reproduce by transferring pollen, which is essential for the production of fruit, vegetables and grains. Bees also provide honey and beeswax. Honey and bees have traditionally been used for medicinal purposes. We need bees for our ecosystem. Bees symbolise hard work, community, focus, kindness, prosperity, cooperation, fertility, harmony, unity, connecting to the natural world, loyalty and protection. Please take care of our bees. Thank you for listening. Signing off now. Bye.
Hello, I'm Susan from Sweden.
Mwanda Michael from Eastern Uganda, Africa.
Hi, I'm Tim from Vancouver, Canada.
I'm Titeshwar Pavdao from Manipur State, India.
I'm Gumba Obasi from Southeast Nigeria.
Arnaito Chakrini from Western Uganda, Mbarara.
At United Network News, you are the news.
My name's Christina, Field Messenger, report first one in the hurricane down here in Southern California from Mexico.
Real people reporting real stories from all around the world. At UNN, our field messengers are changing the face of news.
This is Jason from United Network News. We're going to be doing some aircrete building with new technologies that allow us to live in comfort and also off the grid.
Take the next step in changing the way the world gets the news. Become a UNN field messenger today.
I am Michelle from South Africa, and we are the United Network News.
I am United Network News.
I am United Network News.
If it is going to be, then it's up to me.
If it's going to be, it's up to me.
Si va a ser así, depende de mí. It's up to me.
It's up to me.
It's up to me.
It's up to all of us. We're UNN.
Taking care of our mental well-being is more important than ever, and sometimes the simplest solutions are right outside our door. One of the most delightful and surprisingly powerful ways to keep your mind sharp is through gardening. That peaceful pastime of planting flowers or tending vegetables can actually do wonders for your brain. So let's dig in. Gardening might look like just a hobby or a chore, but science says it's much more. Studies show spending time with plants and soil helps boost memory, sharpen focus, and lower stress levels. For example, research in the Journal of Health Psychology found gardening can ease stress even better than other common leisure activities. Meanwhile, older adults who garden regularly are shown to have up to a 36% lower risk of developing dementia, according to findings in the Medical Journal of Australia. Thrive, a UK-based charity, is transforming lives by helping people with dementia reconnect with nature through gardening. Their specialty design horticultural therapy programs offer a safe, supportive environment where participants can enjoy the sensory benefits of gardening, boost their memory, and find comfort in familiar outdoor routines, all while fostering a sense of purpose and community.
Coming to Thrive, what I feel that by meeting other people and socializing with other people, sometimes you may have things bothering you that you don't even realize. And by having that conversation with other people, you may find a solution without even asking a question. At the end of the session, I feel a little tired, but quite happy, invigorated, and that I've learned something new. I think Thrive offers a lot of opportunities depending on what you want from it. I like coming to Thrive for 3 points: the people, the opportunities, and the learning that I get from it.
STH is invaluable for people with early onset dementia. Cynthia's family have told us that she enjoys coming here and she's inspired to work in her garden. And she leaves with a positive energy because whilst people with dementia may not remember their tasks, the feelings last longer than the memories.
Gardening is also a proven therapeutic tool to help people manage specific mental health challenges, including PTSD and anxiety disorders. The repetitive, calming nature of gardening tasks, like watering, planting, and weeding, acts almost like a meditation, helping to lower cortisol levels and quiet racing thoughts. Many structured horticultural therapy programs use gardening to support veterans coping with PTSD, patients recovering from trauma, and individuals dealing with chronic stress. By grounding people in the now and offering a sense of purpose and accomplishment, gardening provides a gentle, natural way to heal both mind and body.
Gardening can have a variety of positive effects, both physical and mental, in geriatric patients. Physically, it's actually a wonderful form of exercise. It provides some cardiovascular benefit as well as strengthening and flexibility. Other physical benefits include just getting outside during the daytime and getting some vitamin D, which many of our elderly patients are deficient in, as well as studies have found that individuals who grow their own vegetables actually have a healthier diet. Mentally, there can be multiple positive benefits in the elderly. We know that gardening and being out in nature can reduce our stress, reduce our cortisol levels. There are studies that have found in elders with dementia, gardening can actually reduce agitated or anxious behaviors. And gardening can be a positive social interaction for elders if they do it in a group or belong to a gardening club.
Gardening is a surprisingly powerful workout for your brain because it engages multiple cognitive functions at once. Sensory experiences like feeling the soil and smelling flowers stimulate neural pathways and keep your brain alert, while planning where to plant or how to manage pests sharpens problem-solving skills. Even the gentle physical activity involved, digging, planting, and watering, boosts blood flow to the brain, encouraging the growth of new brain cells and supporting overall cognitive health. And studies back this up. Research from the University of Pennsylvania found repetitive gardening tasks can help improve memory by reinforcing recall. And the University of Michigan showed spending time gardening can enhance focus and attention span.
I grow my own food. I got my own garden. That was one of my therapies to go. Me and my wife, we grow a garden every year. That takes a lot of pressure off of us. And that's what we do every year. I grow string beans. Tomatoes 7 feet, tall as he is now. I got peppers, I got chili peppers, and we have marigolds. These keep the bugs off of our green vegetables. You're watching something grow. My wife get out here and we get in the dirt, and look what comes up. Because you're creating new life. You're not taking a life, you're creating a life. This was my therapy. This took away a whole lot because I'm creating something, growing.
Gardening offers powerful mental benefits for people of all ages, providing a peaceful, hands-on way to clear your mind, stay focused, and keep your brain healthy. So whether you're pulling weeds or planting herbs on your balcony, remember, you're not just growing plants, you're cultivating a sharper, more resilient mind.
Erland, the second largest island in Sweden, is a beautiful place in the Baltic Sea with a unique limestone landscape. UNN Field Messenger Susan shows us around this special region.
Hi, this is Susan reporting for UNN on the north of the island called Erland in the Baltic Sea. The whole island is actually a big limestone rock. 490 million years ago, the landmass to which Erland belongs was in a tropical climate. Lime mud began to be deposited in large coral reefs in warm, shallow seas. For a long time, the coral reefs were pressed together under high pressure. Here you can see all the different layers of sediment, neatly tucked away. Scientists believe that it took thousands of years for 1 millimeter of today's limestone to form. The thickness of Erland's limestone layers is at most 40 meters, which means that it took 40 million years for Erland's limestone to form. The broken horizon is 5 to 6 meters thick and consists of around 10 different layers. Most spectacular is the blood red one. What I like the most are all the fossils captured in the stone. They are everywhere and come in all sizes and shapes. It's hard to imagine these creatures were once swimming in the ocean 450 million years ago. The limestone has been quarried on Erland since the early Middle Ages. In Sweden and Norway, limestone sometimes form a column-like landform called rauk, often equivalent to a stack. Rauks often occur in groups called raukfält or rauk fields. These limestone rauks stand in the village of Byrum in Northern Ireland. Kids all ages love to climb them. At Byrum there are fossils of the trilobite genus Asaphus, so abundant that it has given its name to a layer in the limestone. That was all for now. Hope you enjoyed this report for UNN. This is Susan signing off.
A new report by the Balkan Investigative Reporting Network, or BIRN, shows surveillance technologies in the Western Balkans are increasingly used to suppress dissent and control public discourse. Tools like biometric surveillance, facial recognition, and censorship mechanisms are spreading, often without proper legal protections or oversight. Meanwhile, more journalists activists and human rights defenders face digital harassment, legal threats, and institutional censorship. This report is part of the Surveillance and Censorship in the Western Balkans project, which focuses on protecting journalists, human rights advocates, and civil society groups from these growing digital threats, covering key developments through late 2024 and early 2025. It sheds light on disturbing trends that have been building over the years. Take Albania, for example. The country's Smart City initiative is rolling out thousands of security cameras, including number plate recognition systems. In major cities, while it's being promoted as a way to improve safety, it's raising serious concerns about data protection and risk of misuse. Then there's the controversial TikTok ban. In March 2025, Albania banned the platform for a year, citing violent content as the reason after a tragic incident.
Albania's decision to ban TikTok has triggered debates over freedom of speech and internet censorship. The government cited concerns about harmful content and misinformation as reasons for the ban, sparking criticism from free speech advocates. Opponents argue that the move infringes on citizens' rights to access and share information, while supporters claim it promotes online safety. The ban reflects broader global tensions over regulating social media platforms, as governments struggle to balance free expression with public safety in the digital age.
The report also highlights that Montenegro's Interior Ministry secretly acquired biometric facial recognition software, Better Tomorrow, for use in public spaces. Although approved for video surveillance, the use of this technology was not disclosed. The Personal Data Protection Agency has ordered its deactivation, raising concerns about transparency and oversight. Shifting to Kosovo, the situation is slightly different. There isn't direct state censorship, but authorities influence media by limiting access to information and favoring certain outlets. Surveillance is poorly regulated, with limited transparency around private sector roles or the use of biometric data. The law allows digital communication monitoring, including real-time interception and location tracking, raising privacy concerns. Meanwhile, in Serbia, things take a darker turn. Spyware like Pegasus has been used to target journalists, activists, and civil society members, creating serious threats to privacy and press freedom. To make matters worse, facial recognition cameras have been introduced without any clear legal framework, and reports suggest they've been used against political opponents and journalists.
An Amnesty International report entitled Serbia, a Digital Prison, Surveillance and the Suspension of Civil Society in Serbia notes that the government is employing Pegasus software, notorious Israeli spyware used by many states the world over. The country also developed its own offering, while some came from Norway.
Serbia developed software called Novi Spy. It is not so sophisticated because police have to take phone away from you so that they can install the program. But it's good because it can track everything that's on the phone, even the draft message which are never sent.
The pitch is always that it's supposed to be used to track terrorists, but activists and journalists are mostly the target. Security Information Agency responded to report of Amnesty International saying that it is trivial and sensationalist. It is also said that the purpose of Amnesty International is to work for lobby groups and that allegations in report are absurd. Amnesty says it has clear proof that Serbian authorities used programs for unlocking phones and tracking them. It is also said authorities intend to digitally control society, which escalated during the year when protests against lithium mining started.
Main priority of ruling Progressive Party and President Vučić was to fully control security institutions. They made it, so people in charge of those institutions feel that they have power, they are arrogant, and they think they will not be punished.
There is no democracy, no freedom in society. There is no human rights. There is no institutions. Everything here is farce. That is why we are fighting. Luckily, we are negotiating with European Union, so somebody is interested in stuff that's happening here, and they cannot beat us like in Georgia.
Zooming out to the broader region, the report points out laws across the Western Balkans mostly align with EU standards, but enforcement is where things fall apart. In Albania and Kosovo, the laws exist but aren't enforced well, leading to government overreach. Bosnia and Herzegovina faces declining media freedom, while Montenegro's outdated data protection laws make it difficult to keep surveillance in check. North Macedonia is grappling with delays in advancing digital rights, and in Serbia, political interference and proposed legal changes are putting even more pressure on independent media and press freedom. As surveillance tools and censorship methods grow more advanced, the report calls for independent efforts to uncover and document these abuses. Protecting individual rights and creating spaces for free debate and accountability is more critical than ever. The findings serve as a wake-up call to address these challenges, protect civil liberties, and push for transparent governance in the Western Balkans.
UNN is changing the face of news. Join us for our weekly Field Messenger meetings and learn how you can make a difference. Visit unitednetwork.earth for more information. Thanks for watching.